Hi everyone, this is Kate Warnock coming to you from the Guidewell UST Global Innovation Center here in Lake Nona. I have one of my most favorite guests here, Patti Rogers. Patti, welcome.
Thank you so much.
We're happy to have you. So Patti is the CEO and founder of Rallyhood.
Yes.
All right, we're in day 2 of the Greater Than Cancer Immersion event. But Patti, you were our keynote for day 1. I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about your journey that you shared with the audience.
Thank you so much. It's been such an amazing event. I've been so impressed with everyone who you've invited here and all of the Guidewell team. It's just been phenomenal. It was really awesome to have the opportunity to share my story with the audience, and the fact that this event is really focused on improving the journey of cancer is really struck home for me. And so, you know, in my experience, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2008, and I was, like most cancer survivors, not really expecting that to show up in my life. And when it did, at first I was really hoping that I wouldn't have to create the burden and share that burden with other people. But what I found was that, you know, cancer really is not a solo act. It's not something that any of us can do alone. And I also found that it doesn't happen to just the patient, it happens to all of us. And I was so blessed with world-class medical care and that killed my cancer, and I'm so grateful for that. But in the end, I really recognized that it was really people who brought me back to life. The power of community and social support throughout that 18-month journey was just truly a game changer in my health and recovery. I also noticed, though, that while the people were amazing, the digital tools to organize that effort were just fragmented and frustrating and really all over the place, and it created a lot of extra stress and burden for me and my family and our caregiving kind of community. And so that was really the sort of inspiration, you know, that the initial inspiration around Rallyhood, that how could we, if community was such a game changer for me, you know, could we build a platform that empowered other communities to, you know, enable that really essential support and make a difference in people's lives and make a difference in the cancer journey or any healthcare journey.
Terrific. Well, you know, I think that it's worth sharing with our audience, Patti. You even had an image of her. Who was there that was that planted the seed for Rallyhood?
Yeah. I tell the story about it was my 4th round of chemo, and all of my friends were going on really fancy vacations, and I went in with my husband to the chemo room and kind of strategically found this chair by the window, and I had this intent that I was going to sort of meditate on Hawaii, and I would look out the window and sort of pretend, and so I did. I found a great spot, and there was a woman who was sitting across from me, and there's kind of an unspoken rule, like you sort of like leave people alone and not try to interfere with their experience. And so I was trying to mind my own business and kind of going through my own little setup ritual. And after kind of going through that routine of saying a prayer and just holding on to some of my touch tones, I looked up, and directly across from me is this woman who has got this bright colored hat on and this crazy light, and I caught eyes with her and immediately recognized she was my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Clark. And it was, Kate, so much fun. Like, we both in an instant jumped up into this crazy ivy entangled hug and immediately went into this banter of oh, we should get together and sample bald head balm, or, you know, and she was complaining about how chemo was making her fat and ruining her golf game, and anyway, then we kind of went back to our chairs, and she ended up finishing her treatment before me. And when she came over to say goodbye, she held my hand and put a prayer rock in my hand and looked me in the eye and said, "Do good today." And I really will never forget that moment. I felt those words really kind of go really deep. What I heard from her was not the same "do good today" of when you're in 3rd grade, and that means, you know, be quiet and push your chair in. What I heard was, make this journey count. Do more than you think you can, and make the most of today because it's the only day we have. And I think that's the reality of when you go through cancer, you realize that life is finite and you choose to live differently. You choose to live with intention. And so that kind of was this moment of how could I make good on that promise, and how could I do good today and create a ripple effect for other cancer survivors, and that was the inspiration of Rallyhood.
That's such a phenomenal story, and connecting both ends of your life, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
your early start, and there you were an adult, and the fact that she even recognized you.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But
It's also amazing is that I think, our words and actions are so much more powerful than we think. And those tiny moments, those human moments, can really make a difference in a person's life.
Nick Atkins was a speaker today for our day 2 of Greater Than Cancer, and relaying his own father's experience. He said, when you realize your life is finite,
yes,
that can be a beautiful place or a scary place.
Right.
So as you said, it's what you make of it.
Right.
And
it is.
And you had the grace to move in this direction where you're doing so much good.
Thank you.
I have one more question for you. So you are a nearly 8-year survivor.
Yes.
I know October
Yes.
is your
Yes.
8-year anniversary.
Yes.
To you, what does the other side of cancer look like?
Well, I think that, cancer sort of for me gave me a new prescription for living. And that is to choose the people in your life, choose the activities, choose the time you spend, what you dedicate your time to really carefully, because we only have one time, right? And we have this moment, and that's all we have. And we all of us have the difficulty of being in this sort of stream of digital clutter, and there's so much coming at us all the time. So I think to live with intention, to spend time with the people that you love, and to do good today, to do the most you can every day.
Well, Patti, thank you so much for being our opening keynote. It made the day so memorable, and I know people will leave this event thinking of you and the good you've done. So what a wonderful ripple effect that you're having.
Thank you so much.
So thank you, Patti. My name is Kate Warnock. Thank you so much for watching.